Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are looking at Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves figures. Now, I want to be honest here. I got these over at an Ollie's. Seeing that we now have two Ollie's in my kind of greater general area. I was able to find these in one of them. So they were really discounted. And I was kind of happy I was able to find them because, you know, as someone that does a lot of role-playing, and I've had more of a thought of using like the 6-inch figures, having a little bit more fun or whatever, and we've started collecting a lot of these different figures and that, I figured it would be kind of fun to have a little bit more of a medieval themed figure base. So, starting off here, we do have our mage, Simon. Let's see here. Trying to figure out exactly how we got this all done up here. All right. So as you can see, I've got the Ollie's. This I got for about $5, so it wasn't breaking the bank in any regards. You know, I've been kind of jealous of seeing other people posting what they can find at Ollie's for how inexpensive things are. So now that I actually have that availability, it is really kind of nice. Okay, so we do have one bag here. I'm going to say this is probably his staff. Okay, so we have his helmet that we see in the movie, and his staff, his wand here. A little on the bent side, probably not the best here, but you know, it's been kind of cooped up there for quite a while. I can get the paper out of there. All right, so we have a helmet that's a little deformed, and we have his staff here. I'm going to put it down here. Hopefully you guys can start seeing this stuff. I might have to change the angle of the camera so I can really do this properly. Throw the garbage off the side, I guess, for the moment. And I think Indy is sleeping, so I don't think we have anyone trying to disturb us. But there again, she could always wake up at any time once she starts hearing crinkles. You know, Simon here was a younger human mage. He does have a nice youthful look to him. He does have his satchel here, a money pouch of some sorts. You know, the legs and how this is done seems a little different here. Okay, so looking at our feet here, we do have our standard ankle here. No, we do have a little bit of movement and the leg broke. Okay, well, I guess that's not going to work very well. Apparently quality is not a big issue over at Hasbro these days. Might be a good reason why these didn't sell very well. Yeah, I don't know if it's because they've been used and abused or what have you, but yeah, the leg broke off. Now I can glue this on here, just kind of keeping the leg on there, but that's the first one for me. I've never had a leg break like that. He did have a double knee. I guess it doesn't matter now. If I break it, I break it at this point. You know, so you can actually get his leg all the way up here. His cowling around how his boot kind of flaps down here does keep you from being able to move the ankle all the way back here. And I probably will glue this together just so I have them here. We'll have to figure that out. Inside here, with the other leg, we do have that full motion, but we have all this plastic around it, so we don't have as good of a range of motion as what we would probably like. Just being honest with that. His shoulder looks like a single shoulder. And again, Jesus, everything is breaking on these. I'm just trying to move this up and it breaks. This has got to be some of the crummiest stuff and probably why these aren't selling very well. I've had 2 pieces break on this. I don't know who they have making this, but just trying to get the, yeah, I'm really disappointed. This is hugely disappointing. So now I apparently have a one arm, one leg guy. So I don't know. He must be mauled by goblins or something. For me, as a joke figure, this could very well work for me. I might glue them together. But yeah, this is hugely disappointing. Now I'm afraid to even bend anything. Um, oh my goodness. Uh, Hopefully everyone's getting a good laugh out of this. I mean, I'm glad I got them for $5, but holy shiesties. And his cloak does have a notch there so it can sit in. And of course we have the satchel here. But my God, I can't believe I have two body parts break right away. I can get the helmet on them. Goodness. Well, I mean, the next time I go to Ollie's, I can always try to pick up another one. I'll just have to make sure I don't try to bend anything on them, I guess. I don't know. Which kind of stinks because, I mean, you want to be able to pose them. But yeah, this is funny. I mean, it's sad. I mean, thankfully I got them for $5. Could you imagine if you spent $25 and just trying to bend the arm and it breaks? Just getting the leg and just seeing it rotate and just snap off. These aren't the most poseable in some regards, mainly because I'm afraid I'm going to break them. I'm kind of hoping that the other ones aren't the same way. I mean, because they did have extra Forge and Simon there, but Dork, she was the only one. So I'm really kind of nervous now. We'll see how this goes. Let me raise this up here a little bit. We'll get this angle down. Oh, so everything's kind of going awry on me here. That way, hopefully, we can see everything a little bit better. There we go. Something along that line. All right. So, let's get Forge out and let's see how well he holds together. God, I hope he does. This is funny. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, it's disheartening, but it's funny. Again, I'm very happy I was able to get them at an Ollie's for such a low price. But it's just scary that I'm sure there were people that bought them at full price, and God, I hope they didn't have to worry about this on their own. This is a good blooper reel video, I'll say that. Okay. So I guess the big question is, and I'll leave it to you to kind of help ponder with me on this. Do you think it broke because it was a cheap plastic that sat there a little longer? Because, I mean, the movie's been out for a while. And with it having sat in the box, did it just kind of go to pot on us? Trying to see if I can see yeah, it's from 2003. So this has been sitting in there for over a year, because we're in 2005. So depending on, because I think it came out early on, so about 2 years. So we're going to have the same issue kind of going forward with some of the other figures. That does bring a very big question. You guys can talk about it in the the comments and all that, and let me know what you think. So we do have a goblet here with Forge. He was kind of a little high and mighty there. Of course, we have his crossbow, nicely done, looks very good, and he is fairly well dressed. And there's a lot of good artistry work here to make it look very nice, as he's kind of conned his way into the position that he's in. Again, this is a very stiff plastic. I think this should have been a little bit easier. Really, I think something like this, much like what we have here, should have been a cloth. That way, if you wanted them to sit or something like that, you very easily could have done that. We do have the foot pegs here, so if you want to put them onto a stand to have them stand up a little bit better, that would be perfectly fine. Now I'm a little nervous about trying to see what I can do. As the joints are a little off here, All right, so now his knee is forward. I can bring that up. He does have a double knee, although I'm not certain exactly how much we can actively get that back. No, I mean, because here's the other part. It does kind of snap back a little bit. So, but with everything else in the way, it's just kind of hard to really utilize that. We have a good joint system there, but it's just kind of hard to use it. Torso-wise, we can twist here, which I didn't do here, but I don't know how well. Yeah, I guess we can. Okay. And he's only got a single shoulder. We do have our joint right here in our bicep here. Double elbow. God, I hope it doesn't break. And all that. You know, this is the first time I've really gotten overly nervous that I'm going to break figures because of just taking them out of the box. And it is funny. I hope you guys are laughing at this because it is funny. It deserves to be laughed at. It's horrible for sitting there saying, you know, like I said, I got this for $5. I mean, that's not going to break the bank for me today. But it's just a scary thought because there's people that bought these for $25, and if that's what you end up with is a one-arm, one-leg man, that's not a very good figure. All right, so he does have, you know, decent maneuverability here with his arms and all that. So yeah, we could probably get him to kind of do everything that we're asking for him to do. And it's a very simplistic design. It's nothing ordinary, but it has that same medieval look that we expect for a Dungeons and Dragons style character. All right. I think we'll just lay him down. And then last but not least, as I'm looking behind me, just trying to make sure I keep everything in frame here. All right. And of course we have all this paperwork here. Probably saying that they're not liable for figures breaking the moment you take them out of the box. That's going to go down in infamy. All right. And again, this is one of the things that people are always kind of complaining about whenever we have the figures inside the box. It's not like we can actively see them. And I do agree with that. You know, you want to hopefully, you'd like to be able to see the figure to make sure you're not getting the one figure that it looks like it was a really kind of messed up cast off figure in comparison. And she seems like she's got her tail between her legs here. There is a joint back here for her tail. To what degree? It's a ball joint here from the looks of it. So I don't know if I could flip that around or not. We'll just kind of leave it down here for now. Getting onto the feet here. God, I hope I don't break her. Because like I said, I was able to find extra Forge and Simon's, but Dork, she was the only one. So I'm really hoping I don't break her now. But we got to put it through the paces. I mean, that's just what we're doing, right? So we do have a double knee joint here. We have our standard ankle joint. And that works a little bit better because her boot doesn't have the cuffs going down like what we do for Simon. And we can bring her knee all the way up here. So she can stretch that out if she wants to. She's got closed fist hands for the most part. It does look like she's able to put a staff or something into this hand here. And that elbow is very, very narrow. So I don't know if you saw what I'm doing. I'm putting my finger back here because it seems like the plastic wants to kind of come out. And I'm trying to make sure I don't break it. She's only got a single elbow here. So she's a little bit more limited. And she does have a double shoulder. So there is that double piece in there. But what you can't really do is get a lot of extra movement because she's got the shoulder pads here. Pauldron armor to help her. So in that regard, she's a little limited there. A little bit of a torso twist. We have plastic that comes all the way up to the under bust here, and that does limit a little bit as to what she can do side to side. For the thighs here, we do have that rotation, and of course, we could get her sideways, but she's not really an acrobatic kind of character from what I remember in the movie. She's not going to be throwing a lot of kicks, but let's see, can we actually get it so it looks like she is trying to, and she'll have to look sideways as she's trying to shoot her sling on her arm. Oh, that's fairly close. So we can get it so she looks like she's trying to use her sling, which is kind of nice. Not a bad figure. Looks pretty good. Of course, now I'm really nervous with the joints because of what happened here with Simon. And I think that's rightly so. I mean, once you have a figure kind of break on you, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Just by trying to put it through its paces. And what else do we have here? She's got her bag. Looks like she's got some sort of... Okay, so she has some arm armor here. Probably better off on this side. And that just clips onto the arm. Otherwise, it functions a-okay. Although I will say, once having this on here, you're going to be a little limited as to what maneuvers you're going to do, because it's going to want to keep you from really lifting that arm up because it kind of locks in back here. But it is different. It's fun. It's not a bad thing. Outside of what happened here, and I can glue him together if I really want to, chances are we're probably just going to have them just sitting there. It's not like I actively play with them. I will probably be looking for another Simon the next time I go up there, and maybe even another Forge just for fun, because I think Forge used some magical devices, and he could always say that he cast a mirror image or something like that. But unfortunately, now I'm going to have a gentleman that has one arm, one leg, if I don't glue Simon together. And he could just always be like a face-down adventurer that unfortunately got kind of killed off. What else do you do? So it is funny. It really is funny. And we can have fun with it. We should try to have fun with it, at least, I think. So I just don't know if I can fit the helmet on someone else. His hair's all done up differently, so it's not that generic of a helmet. You would think it would be generic enough I could fit it onto some other ones. But it is what it is. All right. Well, with all this silliness aside, if you find these at a discount place or whatever, most definitely pick them up. I think they're fun. And it's always nice having extra characters if you're doing dioramas or whatever. I mean, they could be, cosplayers or something like that, or, maybe they're LARPing out in the woods and, Cobra runs up against G.I. Joe out there and now their surprises all get all the dickens. So we just kind of go from there. And we have fun. That's all it's for, is just having fun. With that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.